I have one tip for you that will save you hundreds of dollars on your aquarium plants, so stick around and I'll show you how. G'day, I'm Josh from the Aquamate channel, and today we're going to be talking about Java Fern, or Leptochilus pteropus. Java Fern is a really popular plant for your home aquariums, and it originates from Southeast Asia. One of the reasons it's really popular is because it's simple to care, so it's perfect for beginners. It's slow growing and it likes low lighting. It likes temperatures between 21 and 28 degrees and a pH of around 6 to 8, but the main reason it's so popular is because it looks really good. Java Fern is like a type of fern and it bunches out, so it's kind of one of those plants that you might look at when you go into an aquarium and think, if I buy that, it will fill up a decent space in my aquarium, rather than buying lots of tiny plants. The most interesting fact about Java Fern though is that it grows on rocks and plants. Now, Java Fern typically costs you anywhere from $10 to $20. So the first thing you want to do is look after that plant. You want to do weekly water changes, weekly fertilizers, and appropriate lighting. But in this case, it doesn't need high-tech lighting or anything like that. Just your standard sort of 6 and 12 watt lights will be perfect. Now when the plant grows, this is the bit that's going to save you a lot of money in the future because it practically propagates itself. The leaves at the top of the plant will slowly produce little black dots, and each one of these is the start of a new plant. These dots turn into what we call plantlets, which are basically a clone of the original plant. And when you see this happening, you'll see a couple extra leaves popping out, some roots coming down from where the plantlet is growing on the leaf, and you can just gently remove it and plant it somewhere else in the tank. This is the bit where we put in the footage over there and I talk to you while I'm doing it. Okay, so as you can see, we have this large leaf here, and then see that? There's a little plantlet growing there on the back of this plant. If I turn it around, there's one, and then there's another one up here. Might even be two up here, but that is a plantlet. You can see they're pretty big. I've had them there for a while, but it's time to pull them off. So you can pull the plant out of the tank, but I don't really want to. So if you grab it with two hands and just gently pull, I think we've ripped a little bit of the leaf off with it. So there we go, we've got the plant there on its own, got the roots, and the rhizome is just the little stem, basically the strong bit down the bottom. So you can let that float off somewhere and it will grow, but you can also wrap it around another object in the tank. And then this one here will slowly pull off. There you go, no damage, or minimal damage, but there's another smaller plant. Now you might be saying, well, what's wrong with this plant? If there's not enough nutrients in the water, then these plants are basically, they're trying to survive. They're producing new offspring so that they make sure they survive. So it's using some of the nutrients that it would normally use to keep this nice and lush to create the plantlets. One common thing is people will fertilize their tank, 3 mil every week or something like that. But as the plants grow, they need more fertilizer. And see over here, again, that one's gonna be nice and easy to pull off. There's another one. So there's 3, there's another one. Oh, that wants to come out. There's 4, there's another one. There's 5. And when you get really mature, healthy plants, look at that. That's just one leaf with all of those. There's heaps and heaps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tiny one at the end, 6 to come off there. This plant as well. Not as in focus, but there's a bunch here as well. So I think we've probably got, I counted the other day, there's 15, and at $10 to $20 each, even if you meet halfway in the middle, that's $225 of free plants just by looking after these ones. So if I want to keep one of these in here, we'll grab it. Now, the best thing to do is to tie it to things. I've got no wood or rocks really back there, so good thing to do might be just try and place it under the controller there. It's not really going to work. I'll place it under the controller. You just sort of want it to stick there. like that without burying the rhizome. There we go. Eventually it's going to sit there and it will grab onto some of the rocks below it and it will keep itself in place. These ones here, I'm going to move into another tank. So I'll start to attach them to some wood in the white cloud tank. Another way to propagate this plant is to cut the rhizome. What's a rhizome, you ask? Good question. The rhizome is basically the stem of the plant, but it just grows along the bottom of the leaves. The rhizome is actually responsible for pulling all the nutrients out of the water column, kind of like roots on another plant, but it's doing it above the gravel or above the soil. You can't bury the rhizome because it will rot with time. So what are the roots for that are coming out of the rhizome? They're basically there to anchor the plant to any rocks or wood in nature or different objects that you might have in your aquarium at home. So while it's possible to cut the rhizome and make multiple plants out of one bigger plant, it's a little bit more of a damage risk. So I think if we stick with the plantlet method, you're going to end up with heaps and heaps of plants and it's costing you nothing. So if you've got some Java Fern in your tank right now, go and check it out. See if you can see the little leaves popping up out of the top of one of your larger leaves, because if you do, you can remove it and bang, free plants. Now if you haven't kept this plant before, I highly recommend trying it. As I said, $10 to $20 you can buy one plant, but in no time at all you can have heaps of plants, saving you literally hundreds of dollars. I hope today's video helped you guys out a lot. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We're pushing to that 4,000 mark, which I never thought would be possible, but we're slowly getting there and I think we'll get there by the end of the year. I'd love for you guys to be a part of that journey. We have over 300 videos, all for free. And I've got some really big news coming up in the next week or two. Along with that, we do 6:30 p.m. premieres Eastern Standard Time in Australia. So next week we'll be back at 6:30 and we can catch up and have a live chat and ask questions and just see what we're up to next week. I have to say thank you again, especially to all those people that are already subscribed. I really appreciate all your support and I can't wait to see you guys soon.
What a wonderful world.
I have one tip for you that will save... yeah. I have one tip for you that will save you hundreds of dollars on your aquarium plants. So stick around and I'll show you how. Dang, that was good. I'm Josh from the Aquatic channel and today we're going to be talking about Java Fern or Leptochilus pteropus. Pteropus. Leptochilus pteropus. Leptochilus pteropus.